So hello guys and welcome to the Press Start Studio mini tournament that happened, last weekend. This is on the month of February 2020 and we got a match for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Daks and joining me tonight is Dodge. And Dodge, what do you see here in our rosters?
So we have two players, Heisenberg, Rivarez on the left and Kent Medallo on the right. So it's a pretty good matchup as both are pretty good players in their own right.
Yeah, I also like the tech here from both different techs. Interesting indeed mail on the right hand side with that Grim style, but on the opposite, it's a Godditel and a Sableye. And people say the Sableye, you can even mention that it might be a poor man's Grim styles for some, but it is really still a classic prankster versus prankster perhaps. What else can you see here from our two rosters, Dodge?
So Kent here has a Corviknight and a Duraludon, so he's stacking Steel type on his team. And we can notice that Locke here, Kent has Tailwind opposed to Heisenberg as a HoHenHei. He only has Sableye and Gothitelle as his speed control with Trick Room and Quash maybe.
Yeah, we'll see how this is gonna go, but it is gonna be a best of 3. And a little bit of a story time real quick, guys. So the Press Start mini tournament was just a small little gathering. Make sure that people could check out the venue and make sure that it would be a fun one to begin with. I believe it was a round robin situation, but there you go with the start off already in DD Mail with the Whimsicott versus that Dragapult as well as the Sableye. So what do you expect here from this matchup, Dodge?
So I expect that Sableye here is probably gonna try to disrupt speed control by using the prankster moves, but unfortunately we have in DD right here.
Yeah,
so Psychic Surge is on. And you can't use prankster moves.
Yeah, terrain gonna be very, very pesky. So what is priority? We'll see what's all about that speed, and the Sableye might have a tough time to begin with. I know the other ability for the Sableye just makes him even slower, but you will always expect Prankster in a VGC format. In the meantime, Whimsicott, of course, just so flexible, can have all those speed controls as Dodge said. But we start things off with a Dynamax here for HoHenHei, or what's his name again, Dodge?
Heisenberg.
So Heisenberg gonna be going with the Dynamax Dragapult. And the interesting question right now, will this be a choice Dragapult or will this be something else? Life or perhaps more on that DPS side? We'll see from the moveset that will come out in just a bit. In the meantime, here we go with Whimsicott. Spots out that Tailwind first and foremost. No Trick Room shenanigans as of yet. All about speed here and now on the right hand side. Shadow Sneak though!
Wow!
Oh, weakness policy. That's a weakness policy.
He self-procced his Dragapult with a Shadow Sneak as well. So priority moves do work on allies under Psychic Surge.
Yeah, that's really cool actually. And there you go though with the Dazzling Gleam. Still though, the Roselli Berry gonna be able to mitigate some of that damage. Super effective, not gonna be as effective as you would expect. And a Max Lightning getting that KO already. One hit to get the takedown. What a strike actually from the Dragapult. The weakness policy making it so potent, and that has gotta be a DPS Dragapult sweeper here on the field at the start of the first turn.
It's a really good play from Heisenberg as well. See, since he cleared the Psychic Surge with the Max Lightning, and now Sableye is free to use his Prankster moves on the enemy targets again.
Oh, is that a shiny Dragapult here now for Locke? Wow, yellow versus red, and that's the grind. There are two kinds of post-game in Sword and Shield. One, of course, is IV-EV training. Make sure you're ready for VGC. And the second, shiny charms, man, making them look oh so cool.
But you gotta back it up with your skills, though.
It can't just be all for show. And we'll see if Locke here will be really ready for BGC or should he go for a Pokemon contest instead. But still, that Sableye staying alive after that proc. Expecting some Will-O-Wisp perhaps here and now from that Pokemon. And something about the Sableye, it is only weak against Fairy, I believe. Such good typing on that Pokemon. In the meantime, Locke right now gonna be tossing out the Dynamax as well. And it's a Dragapult versus Dragapult Clash of the Titans mirror matchup. We'll see what kind of moves will die. The Dynamax here, man. The Dynamax.
So we have Tailwind up, so there's no speed, guys. Quash
Quash! Oh, Quash! And I love this actually. Quash is such a cheeky move on the Sableye. But before we get into that, let's see the Moonblast now connect onto the Sableye. We'll get that KO, of course. No more Berry to save it. But still, that's Dragapult on the side of Heisenberg. Gonna be going first into the Wormwind. That should be really, really effective against the opposing Dragapult. And the Quash is able to make it happen. So Dodge.
Some huge damage.
Yeah, so Dodge, real quick, what does the Quash even do? Can you explain to the guys what happens with that really rarely seen move?
So Quash is a move that when you get quashed, you get to move last. So if you quash an opponent, he will be last in the turn order.
Yeah, that's so cool. It just, hey, I'm gonna go first just to make you go last, that kind of thing. And it's not even a shiny Corviknight. Locke here is ready to go for some style points, but he is down 2 Pokemon so far. Unnerved gonna be making sure that no berry is gonna be played into this one, but I feel like that Corviknight could have been earlier into the field, especially against the Sableye in the first place.
He has max lighting though on the Dragapult, so he's in a pretty tough spot with the Corviknight here. So he might get one hit KO'd as well. And Whimsicott can't really do anything since Togekiss is on the field.
We'll see how this is gonna pan out. The Whimsicott at a type disadvantage. But here comes the follow me from the Togekiss. This is the third turn of the Dragapult's Dynamax by this situation. And in the meantime, here we go with the Moonblast trying to rain on down. Of course, the Togekiss that tanked that one up, not too potent. Max Lightning instead! And it's time to go for the shutdown onto the Corviknight. Dude, this Max Lightning has really won, basically, Heisenberg the game by this point. Can the Whimsicott even do the 3v1 scenario?
No way he can survive this. So, Heisenberg with a landslide win with that weakness policy, Max Lightning right off the bat.
Yeah, and I feel like Locke could have just been able to read that a little better, but Heisenberg on points with his strat. From the very start, Moonblast right now looking to rain on down yet again, finally gonna connect onto Dragapult, and it does get the KO, so sacrificing that one free switch into the next turn here for Heisenberg. But in the meantime, of course, the Togekiss this time gonna have that advantage, flying, but doesn't even care, gonna go for that fire move, Heat Wave, to get the Focus Sash hit. So one last turn for the Whimsicott. Can he actually do anything by this point? But
at least he knows it has Focus Sash.
Yeah, and that's exactly something about the best of 3. If you get some vital information, you can adjust onto the next turn. And this will actually help Heisenberg, knowing that Focus Sash is there, going to be looking to get just a little bit of that double Pokemon damage. But there you go, the forfeit is there. And Heisenberg taking the first win in this best of 3. So what really went wrong there besides the weakness policy, Dodge?
So I mean, Locke couldn't have done anything about it since it was a tech move and it worked in the first game. So now he knows for the second game. So it's all up to him to adjust.
Yeah, he's gonna need to hit that Sableye with a fairy move pretty early, and it's something we were talking about this a while ago. So Sableye has been somewhat put out of the meta in some instances. Of course, Sableye was such a strong pick back in the day. It was like a choice between Sableye and Spiritomb, I believe, but Sableye able to get ahead with
maybe
basically
Sableye, Whimsicott, and
yeah.
Meowstic usually.
Yeah, those were picks too. But I believe in Sableye's case, because it had Prankster back then, it was basically a big deal. But now here comes Grimstar, who's I feel like a little better with the moves.
They have different movesets though. Yeah, they have different moves.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see what the Sableye techs into. Quash. I have not seen Quash in so long, and it's just such a really cheeky move to say the least. It doesn't even matter what your speed is. It's like you're going last, man. Get back into the line. Heisenberg with the 1-0 advantage. Could we see some swaps into the second game?
He might go for Duraludon next game, so he can counter the Dragapult with the resistances, since he can't one-hit KO Duraludon with a Wormwind or a Phantasm, since he's probably Assault Vest, hopefully. If he's Life Orb, he's gonna take a lot of damage, but he can one-hit KO back the Dragapult for sure.
Yeah, and the Duraludon is a pretty sturdy Pokemon to say the least. But in the meantime, Dodge, I remember you were at this event. No spoilers on the results, but how was it? I know it's just a small one, and that's
it was pretty chill. I mean, we were like 5 people, so we all knew each other. All of us were veterans, and we had a great time. Ate some good food afterwards.
Oh yeah, and I really hope that the place is able to do one again. Maybe next time, just a little more on the advertising side,
Yeah.
and hopefully we get a bigger crowd. And I believe there are gonna be bigger crowds coming soon, as BGP has announced that they are gonna do 2 new events coming soon. I know Pokemon PH is gonna do one as well. So a lot of things into the Pokemon scene very soon, and you always have the team leagues happening right now. That's
Are we gonna
also
see
thing.
you there?
Are we gonna see you there? I don't know, depends on where it is and depends on the schedule. But anyway, back at this one, you said a while ago Locke might stack into that Duraludon. In the meantime, will we see either that Durant or that Gotitel here for Heisenberg?
He can also, I mean, Locke can also lead the Grimmsnarl, so he can set up for the screens in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
And hopefully beef up before that Dragapult goes rampant.
I do want to see actually Sableye versus Grimmsnarl, just to see like old school versus new school. And even though, you know, Sableye's a little smaller, Grimmsnarl is a big boy, you can really say, "Hi, Grandpa, I'm
But
the
Grimmsnarl
one."
in the 1v1, he would win, right?
Yeah, he would win. He would win. Like for sure. But you know, it's doubles, man. It's VGC. It's doubles. Some Pokemon are for supports. I don't remember.
Exactly.
I don't remember. What?
That's what's good about VGC, since you don't rely on one Pokemon at a time.
Bro, roll Q in Pokemon 2020 right here, guys. Right here. And 2020 Pokemon have a lot of things. You're gonna have that London World Championship pretty soon into the year. Dallas just finished. I know Australia's gonna happen really soon. So a lot of things. The EU one happened as well. But here we go. Game number 2. We stay local, of course. We hope that we have some representatives into the future from the local scene going on to international, Mr. Dodge. But anyway, let's go with the leads. It's Whimsicott and Grimmsnarl this time, as you said, versus the Sableye and the Togekiss, actually.
Oh, it's pretty interesting since Togekiss is now on the field. He might have predicted the Grimmsnarl switch lead here, so he might go for the Dynamax on the Togekiss here.
Is it gonna be really focusing onto the Whimsicott or the Grimmsnarl? What's gonna be the priority target here?
The Grimmsnarl for sure. So he could take out the Grimmsnarl before it goes for Thunder Waves and other things. Like he can fake it out as well and go for the double target onto the Grimmsnarl, most likely.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a fake out on the side of that Sableye. Maybe Will-O-Wisp as well could complete that quad set. We haven't seen too much from these players. We don't have the move list, so we are just here as spectators looking to find out what's going to be happening soon. But we do know there is a berry on the side of that Sableye. Not too much on the Togekiss information though, but here we go with the Dynamax. As you've been saying, that has to be on the Togekiss here. We'll look for a basic sweep by this point. No follow me shenanigans. More on that damage. Potentially even that max flying move, get some speed going into this one.
So since the Dragapult has Wingless policy, he probably most have Scope Lens on this set. So he goes for the fake on the Whimsicott instead.
That's perfect. Go here from the Grimmsnarl, and of course the berry will get proc. So not the worst way to go. So still though, the Grimmsnarl does have that type advantage. The stab not gonna be enough. Only 90 HP, I believe 70 rather. 70 HP. Roselli Belly really saving the day. But here comes the Starfall from that Togekiss, and will this Grimmsnarl kiss its life goodbye? It seems like it is gonna be the case, and we know that it is the Whimsicott with the Focus Sash. Of course, VGC doesn't allow double items. So there you go, already one going down. Heisenberg already in the lead after the first turn.
So I don't think that was a good play from Locke, since you knew he had the Roselli Berry at the first game, and you wouldn't KO with the Spirit Break anyway. So he might not have had Thunder Wave on the Grimmsnarl set. So a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it went for the fairy type move, and you know that's one less move against Status if they in the first place. They expect and have the 2 barriers, of course, to try and window wash things, but none of them are set up, and these glass split panes are pretty ready to shatter on down. Indeed though, Mail, of course, gonna come on now, and Indeed Mail, remember guys, more on that, what do you say, more on the damage. Ally switch now from the Sableye, exposing what it's got, and who will get targeted by this one? Moonblast onto the Togekiss after the ally switch, keeping that Sableye alive yet again.
Nice ally switch.
Anytime here, go with Starfall. Whimsicott did the rest. Will go down after that hit yet again. And Heisenberg just reading his opponent like a book. He's breaking bad and breaking all these moves right now. There you go, 2 down already here for Locke. Can he turn things around? Should have the Dynamax still in his cards.
So he probably has Duraludon. Okay, Dragapult is a pretty... he's in a bad spot right now. So he can't KO Togekiss. He might need to stall the Dynamax turn.
Yeah, I think this is third turn, right? This is third turn, so the Togekiss will be a little smaller into this one. I think one of the 2 Pokemon here from Locke, probably Dragapult, gonna get Dynamax just to make sure it can hopefully stay alive. We've seen a Dragapult actually go down to the max Wormwood, so it still might be in a bit of a pickle, but that was a weakness policy, Dragapult. In the meantime, still the Sableye is alive, and we know Quash is waiting somewhere during this turn.
So even if he protects and he's faster, he can just go for max Airstream this turn and assure that he can get speed up. But I think he won't outspeed Dragapult even with the +1. So
we'll see how this is gonna go. The Dragapult might be a little pesky. Sableye though actually withdrawn, and this is gonna be Dragapult here and now from Heisenberg. A little dangerous though if that was a target onto that Sableye. Of course, it might not be in the cards, but still, a Dragapult might go down here and now. It might be on the blue hand side. Still though, Dynamax making that yellow Dragapult a little bigger. And there you go, looking shiny, looking ready to pounce. Waiting on the boots here and now from our 2 Dynamax Pokemon. What can it be? What can come out by this point?
can he
Max
survive?
Guard! Max Guard.
Okay, he does stall the Dynamax turn.
Psychic here though from DD, connecting onto Heisenberg's Dragapult.
Wow, that does a lot of damage.
That's what male and DD can do.
Oh,
High
he
special
predicted
attack.
it.
Airstream though onto the DD. Oh, it's pretty tanky also. Of course, it is not going to be a super effective move in terms of that map, the typing, but at the same
Heisenberg
time,
had a good play. So basically, he went for the best play there possible. So he knows that Dragapult can't one-hit KO Togekiss. So he just went for the Airstream, so his Dragapult would be faster the next turn.
Yeah, and
so now he has full advantage.
Same Pokemon, even though they're a little bit different on the stats, that +1 on the speed should be enough to mitigate any kind of IV-EV training. In the meantime, the DD quite low, even just an area attack here might be able to just get those kills after the Dragapult takes some critical damage. Still waiting on for that big Dragapult to get for the move. In the meantime, Shadow Ball will take half of it down. Still though, that thing is large in charge, and looking to strike into Max Lightning. We go onto the Togekiss, and it will stay alive.
Wow,
tanky
really
Pokemon.
bulky.
These Pokemon are very tanky, very bulky. You can see how they are trained more on that defense. And in the meantime, that is going to be the electric terrain into the field. That's indeed right now. We'll connect onto boats. And as we said before, that's a double hit going to take KO that indeed. Can the Dragapult even turn things around? Dodge. It does have a chance if it has a way to hit both of those Pokemon at the same time. But at the same time,
probably doesn't, right? Because
he's
in Dynamax form.
Yeah. Another thing is that +1 on the side of Heisenberg. But this is do or die time here and now. Maybe a little hope, maybe a little prayers here for Locke. Might be able to turn things around. But here we go with the Max Guard, stalling it out, and that's unfortunate. 2 turns actually used for the guard. Shadow Ball is there. And now I wonder, does Locke have any priority moves to try and turn things around, try and get the hits onto the other Pokemon first?
I mean,
but
his best bet on a spread move right now is Surf, most probably. But he's not even gonna go first.
Yeah, this is a little too difficult.
It's really game right now.
Their game is called, and yeah, Heisenberg takes the 2-0. So I believe this was the match before one of your broadcast, Dodge, and I'll be looking to cover that with someone else. It's a little weird, like, hey, you played this, you know how that went. But before we end things up, what do you think about that match? What really rose Heisenberg to the top compared to Locke?
So he was really prepared for the matchup, and he had really nice techs as well. And he really knew how to play around Locke's Pokemon with the air, with killing the Whimsicott right away, so it wouldn't get tailwinded. Grimmsnarl is KO'd right off the bat, like 1 move, 1 KO. So it's really well done.
Yeah, and what else can you say about those 2 teams? Anything glaring, weaknesses, strengths, and something to check into the future?
So Locke had pretty, he had good speed control, but I think in DD was pretty off. It was pretty not useful most of the time in that matchup. I mean, I think it would have been better if it was a female one, to be honest.
Yeah, just to be able to make sure that things come out. The Mail-in DD, of course, is a game changer sometimes, but it just wasn't enough. Especially when the Whimsical had how many things really going for it, so there was not much control on the side of Locke. And
It would have been nice to have a redirection so
Yeah.
his Dragapult could move more freely.
yeah, it's a little bit of a waste, but before we go, just quick little highlight on that Sableye self-proc weakness policy Dragapult. That's a pretty cheeky first move, and it's fun to see Sableye getting some more playtime yet again. I still think, personally, Grimmsnarl is a little better, but they do fill different niches in the scene. Even though they do have a little similarities, they have different movesets and they do different roles. Anyway guys, that's been this one from the Press Start Studio PH mini tournaments. We're gonna have another one for you guys soon. Until then, I've been Daks and he's been Dodge. We'll see you guys in the next one.